What do we do with a crop budget when prices are tight for our grain price fertilizer? And if you have to reduce to make the economics work, what do you cut? And I think it's important to remember that you can't cut a single nutrient out. So don't say, well, MAP is my most expensive fertilizer, so I'm just going to cut P out of my program. That would be the wrong way of thinking. All the long-term university research shows that nutrients are always more efficient when they're applied together. So like on a starter application, nitrogen alone doesn't help you a whole lot. But when you put a little bit of nitrogen, a little bit of phosphorus together, all of a sudden, boom, you get really great response. So if you're going to cut, don't just cut a single nutrient. Reduce the rate of your biggest input, which is probably going to be nitrogen for the most part. There's always good information too, like out of these long-term studies. So like Tribune, Kansas, the most economical rate of fertilizer on a no phosphorus application was 200 pounds of N for irrigated corn. But in the most economical N rate in the phosphorus plot was 120 pounds of N. So by having those other nutrients there, you make the nitrogen more efficient and you can reduce your work rate by a lot, stretch that nitrogen application further. If you do have to make a decision to cut something, you've got to reduce rates with your highest input and then reduce rates accordingly with the next lowest, but don't cut anything out completely, especially on low testing ground. If it's dry land and you don't get any sulfur from irrigation water, you can't just cut out the sulfur because your nitrogen use efficiency will drop. So you've got to keep a little bit of sulfur. You can reduce the rate. Say we're putting 15 pounds, let's go down to like 8 or a machine minimum of 5, but you can't cut it completely because you'll get backwards with your nitrogen sulfur ratio and your crop won't do good. So you just reduce the highest one, then start reducing the others, but you don't cut a single nutrient out of the program.